Hey guys, it's Nathan from the Kentucky Cycling YouTube channel. I'm down in Anniston, Alabama with my buddy Ben, where we're getting ready to start our ride on the Chief, Ladiga, and Silver Comet Trail. The Chief, Ladiga, and Silver Comet Trail are actually two different multi-use trails which are paved. First one's asphalt and the other one is concrete, that follow along for the most part a old railroad bed, but does actually get some hillier elevation. We're going to cross from Alabama into Georgia. The combined trail is 96 miles long, and we're going to actually do this as an out and back over the next couple of days. So we're going to ride from Anniston into Georgia today and stay the night in Hiram. Get up tomorrow and ride to the end of the trail in the Atlanta area, turn around and come back as far as Cedartown, Georgia, and then get up the next day for our final stretch back to our return here at the western terminus of the trail.
We weren't on the trail very long before we were nestled under a tree canopy, or a green cathedral as Ben called it. I was very pleasantly surprised to find that this is the dominant feature of both of these trails, even when you reach the much more densely populated eastern end in the greater Atlanta area. Many rail trails bear important history worthy of reflection, and the Chief Ladiga Trail is no exception. The trail was named in honor of the Muskogee chief who had to relinquish his tribe's lands when he signed the Treaty of Cossetta in 1832. The treaty was part of a broader policy of Indian removal perpetuated by the administration of President Andrew Jackson, after whom Jacksonville is named. After the passage of the Indian Removal Act in 1830, approximately 100,000 members of the Cherokee, Muskogee or Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw, and Choctaw nations, including thousands of their African American slaves, were forcibly removed from their ancestral homelands, with thousands dying during what historians have dubbed the Trail of Tears. In 2008, the Ladiga and Silver Comet trails were connected. A new gateway marks the connecting point at the Alabama-Georgia state line. Now there is a paved corridor for non-motorized travel from Anniston to just west of Atlanta, making it one of the longest paved multi-use trails in the United States. The Silver Comet Trail is named for the Silver Comet passenger train that traversed the same route from 1947 to 1969. The Silver Comet was introduced by the Seaboard Air Line, or the SAL Railroad, during the height of passenger rail use. Due to declining ridership, the Silver Comet was downgraded in the 1960s, losing its sleeper lounger cars. In 1969, the Silver Comet was downgraded again and finally discontinued in June of that year by SAL successor Seaboard Coastline. After passing through downtown Rockmart, we gradually made our way up Brushy Mountain via the old railroad bed, which cuts through the hillside to expose interesting rock formations. At the top of the mountain, we reached the historic Brushy Mountain Tunnel. Even though I've now had the opportunity to ride through numerous old railroad tunnels, the experience always feels novel. Built in 1912, the massive 800-foot-long tunnel didn't disappoint. The next major feature of the trail was the Pumpkinville trestle. This train trestle is a deck plate girder bridge. The trestle was built in 1901, restored in 1999, rises 126 feet, and crosses 750 feet over Pumpkinville Creek in Dallas, Georgia. After riding just under 80 miles, a new daily record for Ben, we bedded down for the night in Hiram, Georgia. The next morning, we continued east to experience the last 14 miles or so of the trail. As you'll see in this section, the trail gets lots of use. And while we definitely preferred pedaling through the more remote areas, it was wonderful to see all the smiling faces of people out on a Saturday morning enjoying the beautiful natural surroundings of the trail. Just a couple of miles from mile marker 0, we stopped off at Heritage Park and took a short walk down to see the ruins of the Concord Woolen Mill. The mill originally opened in 1847 and was burned by Sherman's troops, after which it was rebuilt once again and then again after a second fire in 1889. The mill was abandoned in 1916. A ghost frame was added in 1996 to stabilize the ruins.
right, guys, you've actually reached the end, or rather the beginning, depending on your perspective, of the Silver Comet Trail. So this is mile marker 0 for the Silver Comet Trail in Smyrna, Georgia, just the greater Atlanta area. What I'm going to do is basically do this as a two-parter, basically just wrapping up our trip from Anniston, Alabama to Smyrna. If you're interested in seeing footage going the other way, stay around for part 2.
As always, we hope you found this content useful. If you did, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.